Hello, 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 and welcome to today's Christmas unboxing. We have some very large boxes to unbox today, and a cat who's been guarding them. So if you've been around, you might have seen I did a SciFier Buy With Me stream to celebrate Manga Monday at the end of November. And these 3 boxes make up that haul. Now this haul is technically my Christmas present, so this will be going up publicly, hopefully after Christmas. Currently it's before Christmas because I need to open it to give to Ben to wrap it up all nice for me. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, you can't open your own Christmas present before Christmas and then get it wrapped. And it's like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I think it would be more fun to unbox these over me just showing them post-Christmas. Mika? So yeah, we got these 3 big ones, and then we have this one which came this morning, and I'm hoping that this is... I did a follow-up order of a few of the things that had gone out of stock by the time I hit checkout, and they did come back in stock, so I ordered some of those, and I'm hoping that's what's in this. And then I assume the source is just manga, so we're going to open that as well. Bear with me, this might be a bit of a doozy, though we do have some chunks of series, so it might not be too bad. And remember, if you see anything here that intrigues you and you'd like to pick it up yourself, remember you can use code Caketinz to get 10% off your entire order. And if you perchance received some SciFier gift cards for your Christmas presents, did you know that you can also use the code alongside the gift card? Get some extra savings on your manga. Let's just unbox these and see what happens. I need this table, cats. Alrighty, let's bring on the first thing. I think we should do the smaller ones first. So we got the box and this envelope. Almost forgot my favourite thing in the world. Right, let's do this singular envelope first. Ah. Oh my. Got 3 bookmarks. Cute bookmarks. Okay, so we have How I Met My Soulmate, Volume 1. There's some shadow because of this. So this is actually from my... Was this from my follow-up order? You know what? I can't remember. Oh, from the creator of Waiting for Spring. I do quite like Waiting for Spring. I think it's a nice, wholesome high school romance. Someone, I think, recommended this to me, and I can't remember. But it's a Volume 1. We're off to a good start. Well, it depends on your thoughts on Volume 1s. My cat's going a bit crazy. Right, onto this box, and I'm realising that the camera is quite close, considering this is the smaller one, so we might have to rejig the setup for the bigger boxes when we do those. Oh, so some SciFier boxes are a bit confusing to open, and I throw a huff sometimes trying to get them open all nicely. Right, I've faffed the lighting as well. Sorry, a bit haphazard this one. Ooh, lots of cute bookmarks. I do like the cat ones. What have we got? More bookmarks. So many. Oh. Okay, so this had 2 parcels in it. Let's just do this one. So I think, yeah, this should be my follow-up order with some of the things I missed. / a few things had come out in the week after, and I was like, let's grab them. Right, so we have got on top, aha! Ennead? Darn it, how do I pronounce this? Ennead, and obviously it is the hardcover version because that is the mature version. Now, my understanding is there isn't actually that much mature stuff in Volume 1, but it does continue and get more mature, I think, is the gist I got from people on the Discord. I do enjoy my mature series, and it's kind of nice having a hardcover version. You don't tend to get hardcover versions of smut, to be fair, so I'm excited by that. Next we got, oh, I think this was on the daily deals. It is ReZero. It is a light novel, so that is a Christmas present for Ben. I actually need to start wrapping his light novels because it's just going to take me age to do, but he's going to get a lot of ReZero for Christmas, a lot of ReZero. Next we got, First Night with the Duke 3. I was so annoyed I'd forgotten this volume on my Manga Monday basket. I really enjoyed the series. 1, 2 and 3 all came out together. Also, it's a new publisher for me, Net Comics, whoever they are. But I really enjoyed it. It is an isekai. It is like, I like to call it smut adjacent because first night with Duke, the story starts, she wakes up in bed with the Duke the morning after, having, yes. And it is discussed about and stuff like that, but you don't see anything. It's a whole bunch of fade to black. So a series with like more adult themed, but it's not like an adult series, if that makes sense. It's not plastic wrapped, you don't see anything. But I really, really enjoyed it, though she did start to get on my nerves a little bit, but it had started to resolve by the end of volume 2, and I was like, why do I not have 3? Why did I not order 3? But now I've got 3. It is here. We're good. But it is another full colour manhwa. Next we have Remarried Empress 5. Darn. Volume 4, like, wound me up so much. I was like, when is 5 out? But I put off reading Volume 4, not for any particular reason, I was just reading other things. And by the time I got to it, it was pretty much time for Volume 5 to come out, and I was like, excellent, excellent. There might be some volumes that I don't hand to Ben for my Christmas present. I feel like I can keep a few to side, or do I just leave it till Christmas? You know what, I might just leave it all till Christmas. I might be not that naughty. I have plenty of other stuff to read. Okay, final one in here is Dark Moon Volume 1, and this is a new Ise Press series. Now, fortunately, unfortunately, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Yen Press / Ise Press very, very kindly sent me a big box of manga volumes like a week ago, and it actually had Volume 1 of this in it, and I have read it. So I now do have a duplicate copy because this had already shipped by the time I'd gotten the parcel, and I was like, oh well. I think I got a few other Ise Press duplicates, so I'm probably going to do an Ise Press giveaway in the new year across all my social media platforms, because I think I've got enough. I've got quite a few. I actually really enjoyed this one. This is like, it felt a bit like I was reading a fanfiction insert where a girl joins a boarding school and there are many vampire boys, and all vampire boys seem to have fallen in love with her. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Am I looking forward to more? Also yes. Second parcel. Okay, we have got Call the Name of the Night Volume 3. I can't believe I missed this one because I went on a massive Yen Press binge. I got loads of Yen Press. Managed to miss this one though. Never mind, I have got it now. This is a very, very pretty series. It's very wholesome. It reminds me a little bit of like Witch Atelier with like the starry vibes, the cutesy vibes and such. It's just quite a nice series. Would recommend if you're interested in like a fun, pretty, witchy series. Okay, next we have got, The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls 3, and this was actually in the daily deals as well. I don't have volume 2, but got volume 3, and I believe this might be the final volume in the series. Yeah, I think it's only a 3-volume series, and it's about a little girl that wants to become a knight, but she was trying to pretend that she wasn't a girl, she was a boy, but she wants to become a knight basically, and it's about her like walking the path of what happens when she's a child basically, and her growing up into that role. It's very nice fantasy. It's fun to read like a short sort of slice of life fantasy series over just fighty fantasy series, but it's quite lighthearted. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but it was pleasant. Okay, next we have got we got Jungle Juice Volume 2. I'm so glad about that cover because it matches Volume 1. And also we've got a nice bright colourful spine. I really enjoyed Volume 1 of this. I was kind of surprised how much I liked the artwork because it was kind of a bit more like watercolory, I think, and there was a lot more fighting than I expected. I think I read it in one of my I actually read manga videos and I talked a bit more about it. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. This is one of my favourite Ise Press series, I think, from the year. Maybe. Okay, next we have She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat Volume 1, also in the daily deals on SciFier. I've been wanting to pick this one up for a while as well. It's meant to be a really wholesome GL series. And I do enjoy my series that are revolved around food, because food always looks really, really nice in manga all the time. I don't know why this series is often so expensive, maybe because it's a bigger volume, but Yen Press 10 usually isn't too bad, but this one I only ever seem to see above £10. So this was like £7 or £8 in the daily deals. So I grabbed it. And next we have got a light novel, Only I Know the Ghoul Saved the World, Volume 1. I thought that said 10 for a moment because it was upside down. Another light novel for Ben. He has said to stop getting a new series, but we're going to keep this secret between us. and it was a really good deal, so I was like, let's grab it anyway. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure Ben will read it and tell me what it's like. Last volume in this box is The Horizon 3, and this is the final volume in this series. It is only a 3-volume series by Ise Press. I think the shortest one so far. I've not been the biggest fan of this series. I think it's probably been my least favourite Ise Press, but I want to see how it ends. And weirdly, like, I don't think it was even necessarily the topic, because it is a very dark down topic, and people are like, oh, did you not like the topic? Well, I mean, it isn't a nice topic anyway, and I don't like reading sad things, but I'm just not that fussed about the art style, and also there's so many pages where there's just not that much. Trying to find pages that aren't like spoilers. I feel like because there isn't that much on the pages, it's really quick to read, and it kind of made me sad going through such thick volume so quickly. Also, it hurt my wrist, which is like first world problems, not really a problem, but like flicking through it so fast because there wasn't much going on, like, actually hurt. Which is pathetic. Let me readjust a little, and then we're gonna get a big box somehow. Let's try. Oh dear. Okay, right, so I think this is probably some of the best we can do at the moment. It is a very big box. It is a very big box. I'm gonna see how big it is once we open it up. Hopefully you can't really see the tinsel that's on like my microphone. Or maybe you can. Can you see it? It's got lots of little unicorns on it. And actually the stand that I have my phone on has little dinosaurs on the tinsel. Well, I think they've included some bookmarks. It's a little tricky to see. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Dinosaurs. I think the dinosaurs might be new. I think, are they new? Okay, so we have some manga in here. How much manga do we think we got? Do we keep the box or do we pull all the parcels out? I'm slightly feeling we pull the parcels out. How many are there? One. So we've got 1, 2. I was about to say, what is this big, massive one at the bottom? But I think we open this where it is. Can you see the handle? Oh, wow. I have not seen these before. That is amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm actually like... I need to take a moment. I'm so impressed by that. No, we have to get rid of the box. Ah! But we can do that. Hopefully you can't see too much of my slightly messy floor. Can we get the bubble wrap off but leave the things? And there was some on the bottom as well. Wow. I am actually slightly obsessed with these. That's so good. Now, I must say, as someone who owns a lot of manga and buys a lot in between sporadically as it comes out and all that, I tend to not buy box sets. In fact, this is probably one of the only box sets. I thought this was the only box set I didn't own, but I don't own the, what's it called? The Nausicaa one or the Akira box set. But in terms of like a standard manga that's not like big massive hardbacks or anything, this is the only one I didn't have. This does bring my box set count up to 4, and 2 of those are Princess Jellyfish and a Pokemon one, so they're Diddy. The only other one like this I have is Bleach Part 3. So whether or not this is standard for box sets, I have no idea. I have not seen them because obviously I don't really get box sets. Right, I think I'm probably going to have talked more about these than the actual box set, but hey ho. So we have got the Tokyo Ghoul box set. Now this, as I have said now repeatedly, this was like the last box set I didn't own. I have held off picking volumes of this up for years. I keep seeing them secondhand and I would just avoid picking them up because I'm like, nah, I fancy getting a box set, and this is like one of the only ones I can now get. But it's like plastic wrapped and it's got a handle and the corners are in nice condition. Corners are in great condition. I'm so very impressed. Actually, you know what? I've told another lie. I was like, no more box sets, but I do want to get that orange box set. Have you seen it? It looks so pretty. Boo those omnibuses, they're so ugly. I'm gonna get the singles and then give away the omnis. I imagine a lot of people are going to be getting the singles and giving away the omnis, so if you don't care about omnis, this is a good time to get the orange series. Anywho, yes, very happy, and I think I paid £69 for the box set, which of course I had to buy it at that price because it made me giggle because I am a child. Excellent. This is exciting. Oh, I faffed with it all a little bit again, so we've not got bits of my carpet. Let's do a random box, a bag thing, package. Right, we're gonna, there's going to be a bit of a sporadic all over the place, so bear with me. First off, we have Like a Butterfly Volume 3. I was gonna say most recent in the series, but I'm not sure if it is anymore. Kind of, I've noticed that as soon as stuff goes immediately up on SciFier, it's a little bit more close to retail, but if you wait a little bit, it does drop, and with 10% off you can get it for like 3 for 2 prices or cheaper, especially cheaper. But it's just kind of meant that my whole like buying cycle for the most part is a little bit out by a bit, especially for this series, so I don't know if Volume 4 of this is out. This was very light-hearted and wholesome. I kind of liked reading a romance between two introverts, two awkward people who don't know what to say or how to say anything. So I think most of what I've read are either both outgoing or one of them's outgoing. It was kind of fun reading one where neither of them were. This is also the same manga artist as Shortcake Cake and Sign of Affection, and I have very polarizing opinions on those two series, so I'm really kind of keen to see on what my opinion on this series ends up being. Next we have Radiant Volume 17, and this is the most recent volume in the series. I am missing a volume like in the middle of the series that I am struggling to track down. Volume 9 I want to say, so I don't have a clear run. I did enjoy the volumes I have read so far, but it's a series that I've been picking up sporadically secondhand or when I see it in stores, so I've not had like early volumes or a clear run for a while now, I think. Next up we have Fox and Little Tanuki Volume 4, and I was guilted into picking this series up by Kitsune, one of the mods on the server. I think I do have 1 to 4 now, and I do now suddenly realise that I think we were going to try and read the series together and then forgot. Maybe after Christmas, if you still want to, Kitsune, we can read them. Fortunately, it is a little bit more pricey because it's a Tokyo Pop and it's not like the biggest volume, so I do have some high expectations. Sorry, I'm joking. Next we have Kami-sama Kiss 17. I think with this volume I am missing one volume until I am complete, I think. But it was a bit more pricey, the volume I was missing. It was like RRP, which usually means that it's more tricky to find, / it's in need of a reprint. There aren't many volumes is I think the gist I've noticed. But goodness, I remember when people went crazy, went mad when there were reprints and restocks of this and paying like above RRP, and I'm like, no. But I do think I've mostly paid like 3 for 2 prices for the entire series that I've picked up, if not cheaper, because I have gotten a few secondhand. And next up, and this excites me, we have Gintama 18. Now I picked up a whole load of Gintama. There should be a whole load of this throughout these boxes. I think I am now going to only be missing like 3 volumes before I'll be, I was going to say complete, up to date. It got cancelled at 23 volumes in English, so it isn't like a complete series, but I'd be up to date with what I can be. I already have 1 to 3. I picked them up years ago, secondhand, and then it was very hard to get more. I had to check, and it is a reprint. It's a reprint in, I don't read that, October 2022, and that is about a year old, but that's still a series that was cancelled. Getting a reprint in 2022 just feels a bit crazy. I know there are people like, does this mean they're gonna bring it back? I think it's unlikely, but we can dream. Right, next we have Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom Volume 4. I love this series. I love this series. It is very similar-ish to like Apothecary Diaries, but I'd say the main character she's a bit more like aloof compared to Mao in Apothecary Diaries, who's quite like, I feel like she's kind of one of those people that's just permanent like, on the inside, like, why, okay, I guess, why, whereas she's a lot more like bouncy, chirpy. That's not to say I don't like Mao. I absolutely adore characters like that. I absolutely love like the grumpy, annoyed all the time characters, but I also admire her and I love her a lot. I also think this series like focuses a lot more on like the medical doctory side of what they both do, whereas I feel like Apothecary Diaries is a bit more towards like the mystery and solving the mysteries. This is like, basically, slight spoiler for volume 3, she performs a surgery. You don't really see much, don't worry if you're squeamish. I don't think. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But you don't really see that sort of thing in Apothecary Diaries. I love this. I like how chunky it is, but it's a very expensive series. Make sure it's on sale when you pick it up. Finally in here we've got Black Lagoon Volume 1. So this was actually in the daily deals, and I have picked up a few more random volumes from the series, secondhand I think. And now I also have this one. I thought it was complete as some volumes, but apparently it's actually on hiatus. Great, it sounds like it's been on hiatus for a while. Never mind. Still, I am enjoying collecting a whole bunch of Viz series, and this was one of the only Viz series I didn't have that still had volumes that were semi-easy to collect. I'm not that interested in the sort of Viz series where it's like, yep, and it's like £80 a volume if you're lucky, and I'm like, no thank you. Let's go on to the next one. Ooh, if we do this, I won't know what they are. Right, first off we have Laid Back Camp 6. Now, Laid Back Camp, I actually have a gap in the middle of the series, 1 to 5, and then a whole bunch missing, and then more. So, very happy to see this for a decent price on SciFier, because it means I can actually start filling that gap. This is such a heartwarming, lovely series about a group of teenage-ish girls who go camping, and about all the like details about how to camp and what you need and the places they go, and it's just really a calming series. This is the sort of series that I can read and I feel like I'm just having a really deep breath. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Next we've got another Gintama, 17 this time. They're like matte. Are they normally matte? Are my 1, 2, 3s matte? I'm not sure. I'll have to push them all together to see which Gintamas it is I did actually pick up in the end. Next we have Reborn to Master the Blade, from Hero King to Extraordinary Squire Volume 1. Now, this is actually another volume that Yempress sent me. In fact, I am halfway through reading this right now. I can see my copy just there with my bookmark in it. So yeah, as I said, all the ones that I already have ordered and end up with duplicates, I will just hold them for giveaways at some point in the future, probably. So this one, so far, I'm not too sure if it is an isekai or he's just reborn in the same world, but it is about a king, not a king, hero king, maybe a king, who is this old guy here, who decides on his deathbed that actually he'd like to be reborn so he can actually have the time to master the sword, and he's reborn into a baby girl. Yeah, and I really haven't got much further than that, so I can't tell you too much more. It reads like it's just going to be a silly fantasy, but why does it happen so often that old men are reincarnated as young girls? Why is that so common? Also, I find it interesting, it is J Novel Club on the top, but I'm fairly sure it's like Yempress printing. Yeah, an imprint of Yempress, but then what are the J Novel Club manga volumes that I have? Because they're different to those, they're like different printing styles. It's kind of neat, interesting. Anyone knows, leave a comment down below because I would love to know. Right, next we have got Oshinoko 4. Excellent, excellent. Like, Oshinoko, like, it had that shock factor that everyone is like, end of volume 1 or wherever it happens in the anime, shock. And then I feel like I dipped a little bit after that. I was like, where's it going, where's it going? And then I read volume 3 and volume 3 was like, oh damn. It was kind of, it hit hard. So now I am more excited to get back into the series and get more volumes, but it doesn't release much often at the moment. Or maybe I'm just impatient. Next we have Tsubakicho Lonely Planet 5. Now, same manga artist as Daytime Shooting Star and Into the Clear Moonlit Dusk. I'm not the biggest fan of Daytime Shooting Star, but I have been enjoying Into the Clear Moonlit Dusk. This one I'm a bit mixed on because I feel like when it's an age gap romance, like this one is kind of ish, or it depicts age gap romance, for me, whether or not I like it depends on how they deal with that, how they address it. And so far, in Daytime Shooting Star, I didn't like how it was addressed. It seemed like a lot of people were like, meh, and I still don't think they really tackled talking about the emotions of the main female lead. And I'm a bit worried about this series for the same reason, really. In fact, I don't think I've read my volume 4 yet. Do I have volume 4? I might be missing volume 4. I might have a gap. But yeah, mixed feelings on this one. Why have you picked it up? Because I pick everything up. Next we have Sexiled. My sexist party leader kicked me out, so I teamed up with a mythical sorceress too. This is actually a light novel, and it's for Ben. And during Ben's light novel tour, he was telling me, I think he said this was like based on a real story or something. Something happened in the medical field in Japan. I can't remember. I'd have to go ask him, and he's not... I don't know where he is at the moment. Yeah, so that's another light novel for Ben. They're very, very thin. Why are they so thin? Final volume in this one is Saint. No, I'm just a passing beast tamer. Volume 2. Is this also an isekai? I think this is also an isekai, and it's about a girl who's very sick. She would love to have a pet. She can't because she's sick. She dies, reincarnates in another world, and she's like, I'm gonna have a pet. That's all I want. I want a pet. Fortunately, she's like been reincarnated and she's like super overpowered. She's amazing, wonderful, literally could do anything and everything. And when, at the beginning of volume 1, when they go and get their like classes assigned to them and everyone's like, well, you're going to get Saint, aren't you? And she has the option for Saint. And what does she choose? Beast tamer. She literally picks the option and then runs straight outside to go and find a beast to tame to have a pet. And I'm fairly sure it's this little black cat here. Yeah, and that's, yeah, she's a very, very overpowered beast tamer, and everyone's like, why did you choose beast tamer? And she's like, the pets. Super adorable, lovely, really enjoyed volume 1. I have just learnt that one of those is a faku, and is it like has stuff, let's pull that one out carefully. Viewer discretion is advised, volume 2, Forbidden Desires. So basically, this is a horror faku, if you can imagine a horror faku, and there's a second volume of it. Volume 1 was very disturbing. It's exactly what you imagine a horror porn might be, but I decided to get at least one faku in the basket, and this is actually a fairly new release, so I threw it in. Now to carefully edge it out of shot. Now let's see what this one is. Training Mr. Sakurada. Is it a one-shot? I don't see a number on the spine. The first line, Sakurada Hajime is thirsty for a girlfriend and a good time. Okay. I feel like it's exactly what it looks like it's gonna be. Some form of, oh no, I broke the plastic wrap. No, I didn't, it's just loose, we're good. Okay. This was a little bit more pricey than I wanted to pay, but I was like, I fancy just getting some smut, to be honest. Throwing the smut on the floor so I don't accidentally flash something. Next we have Origin Volume 1, and this is by Boichi, the same manga artist as Dr. Stone, and I do like Dr. Stone, so I was like, yep, let's grab it. I mean, it's unlikely to be anything all that similar. I did find the art style quite, like, striking. Like, I had mixed feelings on, like, there were parts of Dr. Stone where I really liked it and parts where I didn't, so I'm interested to see what it'll be like in this series. I've seen a lot of people talk about this series. I have high hopes. Next, we have Shy Volume 4. I have not yet started reading this. I'm so sorry. I've seen some people describe it as, like, a bit like My Hero Academia, because it's superheroes around the world and such, so I don't know. Hopefully. I'll try and read a volume before the end of the year. The reformation of the world as overseen by a realist demon king. That's a bit tricky to read, isn't it? I do have a bit of a pet peeve on series which are tricky to read. I don't think that made any sense. When like it's hard to read because of the graphics. There's one where it's awful and it's like got cheat skill in another world and I can use it in the real world or something. That is like, you can't read it. It's so confusing. Okay, next we have the NPCs in this village sim game must be real 5. I wonder how long this series is going to go on for, because I think the light novel is complete at 3 volumes. I wonder if this means this is going to complete at 6 or maybe 7. You tend to get 2 to 3 manga volumes per light novel, depending. That's not a flat out for everything, but for most things it tends to be about that. So I wonder if this is going to be like 6 or 7 manga volumes complete. Final one in this box is Old Fashioned Cupcake with Cappuccino. And I really, really do have a pet peeve of when series go with a subtitle over just going for number 2, because it makes my spreadsheet look not as pretty. A lot of people say this is a really lovely series. I've still not read my first volume, but it is in my cart of volume 1 to try and get read. And then this wasn't a bad price, so I decided to throw it in. Is it Sublime? Yeah, that's Sublime. For some reason I thought it was Tokyo Pop. Hopefully that's a little bit better. We'll decide if we leave it in the box or not after we've opened it. I do appreciate how much packaging goes around these books. Right, we have another plethora of bookmarks. So many bookmarks. I should start including these in my giveaways. I get the feeling there's six of these. Let's just try open it like this. You know what? I'm gonna open a few of these at once. So let me show you these and then I'll open a few more. We have a whole bunch more of Gintama. We have volume 6, volume 11, volume 21, 22, 4, and it's kind of like that. But it doesn't match any of the others. Why does it not match any of the others? 16, 14, 9, oh, another one. Okay, I'm less mad now. 10 and 13. So yeah, I don't remember if there'll be any more after all of that. But yeah, I'm missing not much Gintama now. And then also I got some Community Doke. We have 15, 5, and 9. And I did order a bunch more of this series as well. I think Community Doke, Tokyo Ghoul, and Ghoul, and Gintama were like the 3 big series that I focused on and getting a whole bunch of, and then I've got like sporadic a lot of new volumes and stuff around the edges. So I've said for a while now, with the Viz price now having gone up, trying to catch up a whole bunch on Viz series before that was kind of one of my goals. And I think I have actually done pretty well. There aren't that many Viz series I'm actively collecting that I'm not up to date with that I can't be, if that makes sense, because there are some series that are just a bit more tricky to find volumes of, like Yakutake Japan. I pretty much am just hoping to see them secondhand randomly at this point. And also like the Kami-sama Kiss volume, which I did find it, but it was too expensive for me to want to pick up, so I'll just wait for that one. Let's do another one of these. Oh my gosh, I've just seen what's at the bottom. Ooh. Push. Okay, right, so do a small Gintama. We have 15, 5, 12, and 20. I don't think there's any duplicates. Is that all of the Gintama now? Not sure, but we'll put it all together at the end. So next we have Superman Meshi Volume 2. I actually read all the Volume 1 DC volumes that I had last week, and the Superman one was actually my favourite, and I actually rather liked it. This is the most light-hearted of the 3, I would say, and basically Superman goes to Japan and is really enjoying Japanese food, and he's eating a lot of Japanese food. Every chapter he eats different types of Japanese food, goes to different restaurants, and it's just really quite fun about food and Superman, and sometimes the other Justice League members. I would recommend that one. They're actually not that pricey either. Okay, next we have got The Night Captain is the New Princess to Be, Volume 2. Had to go open the door for a very crying cat outside. Anywho, this is a short, I'm not sure I'd call it fantasy, medieval romance, where the captain of the knights is now engaged to the prince, and it's very light-hearted. It has a lot of the drama bits that I enjoy, like kidnappings, attempted assassinations, stuff like that. I think my pet peeve a bit though was all of these things kind of resolved within pages of each other, and they were just I think every dramatic trope I happened in Volume 1. It's oh goodness, some slight whiplash reading it. I did like it. I also don't think it's a very long series though, which might help you if you're interested in trying it. Next we have Drango's House Hunting Volume 9, and it has taken ages for another volume of this series to come out. I love Drango's House Hunting. It's such a wonderfully sweet, lovely fantasy series, and I wish more people read it though. I don't know. Anyone else read it? Anyone else really enjoy it? I don't feel like I see many people who have it, and even less people who've said they've read it. But I love it. Would recommend, definitely. It's basically about a dragon who's looking for a house, and he has a real estate agent who's also a demon lord. It's great. You should try it. Now we're on to another one. Right, on top, I can tell what it is from the back. We have A Condition Called Love 5. I really like this. I love how sweet and heartwarming it is, and I love the relationship between the two. I like the mostly open communication. I know this series has mixed feelings on it. I really like it though. I'd say it's one of my more favourite high school romancy kind of series out there. I like how chunky this volume is. This volume feels chunky. Okay, next we have got another series that Yen Press actually sent me volume 1 of. When I Became a Commoner, they broke off our engagement volume 1. Someone said that a lot of people had mixed feelings on it, so I have read this as well, and someone said that a lot of people had mixed feelings on the volume. I kind of get why. Basically, 2 babies have been switched at birth by fairies, and this girl here has been swapped from a commoner family into a noble family, and she's never really felt like she's belonged. She doesn't look anything like a parent, she doesn't have the magical abilities that a family normally does, and she just doesn't feel like she fits in. And it's just kind of sad, because she's accidentally told, a fairy is like passing by and is like accidentally like reveals the truth, and she decides to try and keep it under wraps because she loves her family and she doesn't want to leave them. And it's just, I don't think it was bad, but it didn't like, just made me feel a bit bad by the end of it, to be honest. I think, yeah. Okay, next we have Can't Stop Cursing You 3. This is actually a series I've been wanting to pick up for ages, and I just don't see volume 1 anywhere, so I've held off it, but volume 3 was actually in the daily deals, so I was like, well, screw it, I'm gonna get volume 3. It's a sign. Honestly, I don't really know much more about it, except I kind of liked the look of the cover, and I've been wanting to try it because of that ever since. But I genuinely never see volume 1s anywhere. If anyone else sees volume 1 for a sensible price, do let me know. I am interested. Next we have Dragonite's Beloved 6. I am a bit behind on reading this, but this was a fun read. It's like romancy fantasy, where this guy's a dragon knight, and she is like favoured, loved by the dragons for some reason. I can't remember if they've explained the reason yet. And they kind of have a thing for each other, but they were keeping it quiet, at least as far in as I'd read. It's a nice, light fantasy romance read, but I wait for it to be on sale. I wouldn't pay retail or even potentially 3 for 2 for it. Next we have Blue Box 6. I didn't realise I didn't have Blue Box 6, to be honest, so checking my spreadsheet I was like, well, let's throw it in there. I've read the first few volumes. I think it's okay. It's like a rom-com sports series with a theme of badminton. I hope they keep playing the badminton side. There's a guy who plays badminton, and he ends up with a crush on someone, and because of a series of events, she ends up moving into his house with his family. It felt so cliche. It was kind of cute. I don't think it was like mind-blowing to me though. It was okay. I do like to stay up to date with my Viz series. So next we have got Associate Professor Akira Takasuki's Conjecture 2. I actually got my volume 1 not that long ago, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. So I have not yet read it. I don't know anything about it. But I went on a crazy Yen Press pickup on this order, because a lot of the new releases weren't badly priced. I think before discount it was like £8.18. And then on Manga Monday, code Caketinz worked at 15% off instead of 10% off. So I think it actually worked out pretty good. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, just grab all the Empress if it's a good price. It's fine. I do think we've got some slight rainbow, because I think this text has changed colour. That makes me happy. Final volume in this is Dark Gathering 4, and that's kind of neat. I like that we've got a white band about it, so it's not going to be all black, which means it won't match, which means I'm now mad. So this series actually did creep me out quite a bit. We watched, I think, 1 episode of the anime in the Discord, and it is so much creepier in the anime as well. I did not like it. Like, I thought it was creepy reading it. Watching it, I did not like. I did not like it at all. I'll keep reading it, but I will not watch it. And if you want to watch something creepy, try watching this. And maybe you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Well, I am a big scaredy baby who doesn't like scary things. So leave me be. I am easily spooked. Yoon is trying to help by eat the bubble wrap. You decide if that's actually helpful or not. I would say not. Let's do another one. Right, we have got another 2 volumes of Community Doke. We have 16 and 22. So I actually already have 14-ish, 14, 15 volumes of the series. And I think I did order, there might be some more after this. But I should now be a good way there to being complete, which is excellent. Considering it's a long-running shoujo that's well, I thought it was out of print, but they've done a whole bunch of reprints. You can tell because it's got the, I was going to say the new price bracket, but it's not the new price bracket anymore, is it? Oh, it's now $8.99. But it does show it has had a reprint, and these aren't like original printings, which is excellent. Okay, next we have got My Love Mix-Up Volume 9, which is the final volume in the series. I do love when they make it very obvious. I did actually stop reading this purposefully because it was quite short and I was struggling to read it with big gaps because I was forgetting characters' names. I tend to find that a lot with like high school or like slice of life stuff. I tend to prefer binging it because it's harder to tell characters apart personally, especially since people tend to look normal and don't have like crazy outfits or crazy hairdos to try and help you remember who they are. So I tend to try and read them all together if I can. Now sometimes I don't. I think it just depends on like character styling, but now I do have it. I'm going to complete it. Reading it, I mean, I've just completed it with this. What am I chatting? Next, we have got I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time, volume 1. It sounded silly. I don't think it's an isekai. It sounds just like a silly fantasy, but with a title like that, the question is just, is it a gimmick that's going to last? That is the question with series like this. And I don't know, but we'll find out. Next, we have got My Dog is the God. My Dog is the Death God, Volume 1. Oh no, I've just read the back and it looks really, really sad. I don't know if I've made a mistake now. It looks like a dog, the god of death has been like sent in dog form to go live in a hospice and helps the patients in the hospice clear like any lingering regrets they have before they can move on, and that sounds really sad. Also, this is really thin and it was a pricey series, so keep that in mind when you see it, and also that it sounds really, really sad. Okay, next volume and last one in this pack is Inside the Tentacle Cave, Volume 1. Deep in the tunnels of an abandoned mine lurks a demon that absorbs the power of anything it touches, the Black Ooze. When it consumes its first human male, it acquires both intelligence and ravenous sexual desire, much to the distress of a sorceress who mistakenly enters its domain. Of course it does. Of course it's tentacles and boobs, isn't it? I imagine there's not going to be much story in this. Just an inkling. Okay, final parcel in this box. Shall we see what this big volume is? It is, A Stepmother's Marchant 2. I really was surprised by Volume 1. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. So far, it's not really that romancy. It's about a woman who has gone back in time. So it's a back in time, knows what's going to happen kind of deal, really. And it's when she goes back in time, she's gone back to the funeral of her husband, and her husband has left behind a whole bunch of children. They are not hers. In fact, she's only barely a few years older than the oldest child, but she is their stepmother. And it's kind of about her trying to build a better relationship with the children, that better than the one she had in her first time around. And I actually quite liked it. I wonder if it will still have a romancy element. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But so far, that's not really the focus of it, and I'm liking it. Very chunky. It is a full colour manhwa from 7 Seas. Oh, we got another Community Doke. We have Volume 4. I wonder how many of those I did end up grabbing. We'll put them together as well. Okay, next we have No Longer Heroine for another series I have mixed feelings about. I am not that impressed. I really don't like the main female lead. From what I gather, that's the point. You're not really meant to like her, but she's being fussy, so she can go in the box. My understanding is you're not really meant to like her, but it still doesn't make it any easier to read. Because, yeah. And I understand like half the fun is like the silly expressions and stuff, but just her and the main male lead as well, just both of them are just... Never mind, it's just cat. Yeah. So I'll keep reading. I don't think it's a very long series either, but I think that it is just a series that you do have mixed feelings on, regardless. Final volume in this parcel is Mission Yosakura Family 7. I can't believe we're on 7. I don't feel like it was that long ago it started coming out. And yet, here we are already. I think it's okay. I do need to read more of my volumes. I think I've read about half of what I've got now, so I'm not fully up to date. It's just fun, actiony, fighty, but I wouldn't call it like outstanding, I guess. I do realise that we now kind of are at a point where I need to take the box off the table. So what do? Do we open the last box? Do we move the cat? Oh no! Such a weird cat. Okay, maybe what we do is I'll take the camera down, we'll open the next box on the floor, and then we'll come back and do the little parcels up here with the cat here. Is that okay, Yuna? Just so you can have a nice nap. Okay, ignore this mess. Let's get the box. There's the pile building on the floor. There's the cat. Didn't go that well. Though I'm not left-handed, so I don't know why I did that bit with my left hand. Now you can appreciate how deep it is. So much packaging, so many bookmarks, a lot of this bookmark. Oh, is that a new one? I think that's a new one. Oh my goodness. Are they like manga themed bookmarks? Is that why I've ended up with so many of those? Usually I do a bookmark count at the end, but I'm a little bit... It's going to take a long while. Are you okay there? I pulled her out and then she jumped straight into this box. Can you get out, Yuna? I do like my manga to have extra cat hair on them. Oof. Excellent. Thank you, cat. Let's put this back on the table. Okay, we are now back up here now that the cat's decided to let me have the table back. She is now just sat on the manga on the floor. Anyway, let's just get stuck in. On top we have Love and Heart 9, which is very, very thin plastic wrap. Mixed feelings on this series. I did enjoy it a lot to begin with. I like the whole psychological, basically torture, to be fair. The guy not actually being a nice guy and pretending to be, and we are definitely approaching the end of the series. I want to say I read somewhere there were 10 volumes, so there may be one more after this. We're definitely approaching the end, and I think I'm kind of glad for that because of how the story is at the moment, but I need some more drama. Next we have the Shiunji Family Children Volume 1. This is another volume that the Empress sent me that I have already read, so I will be giving this copy away at some point. This is probably the most questionable one that I read. When I tried to read as many of the volumes the Empress sent me in one day. This has been the most questionable one. It's the same mangaka as Rent a Girlfriend, and the basic premise is a family is grown up, 5 sisters, 2 brothers, thinking they're all siblings, and it's revealed that actually they're not. They're all adopted. They're not blood related apart from one pair, I think. And then it turns into a whole, well, if we're not actually related, that means dating's on the table, right? It's like, what? What? Oh my god, no, please no. Some very questionable lines and things happen between some of the characters. It's a bit weird. It is a bit weird. Don't think there's anything else to really say about it. Next we have Re:Zero Part 3 Volume 11. I have been trying to find the last few volumes I need of Chapter 3, Truth is Zero, for I think years now. 11 was one of them, and I can't remember the other one. It's either 9 or 10. Can't remember off the top of my head. But it is stopping me reading more, and I'm very annoyed. I wonder how long the manga's going to go on for, because I mean the light novels are in like the 30s now in Japan, and I don't think the manga's like that far in at all. Interested to see, but I do want to read further if I can. Ooh, next we have Kiss the Scars of the Girls. Kiss the Scars of the Girls 1. I have seen people say good things about this one, so I do have high hopes, which might be a bad thing. It is a GL, it is a new GL from Yen Press. As I said, I did grab a whole lot of Volume 1s from Yen Press. Actually, just in general, lots of Yen Press stuff, because they weren't that bad a price. Excited to try this one. Next we have the Joker manga Volume 2. So this was my next favourite after the Superman one. Basic premise is Batman has been turned into a baby and the Joker has decided that it would be boring without Batman, so he's going to raise Batman into being Batman. If that makes any sense. Basically, the Joker's got a baby now and is trying to look after it, and it's Batman. And there's story reasons for why. It was fine. I think I did enjoy it. Just not as much as the Superman one. The Superman one was way more lighthearted. I think it's complete at 3. Or at least 2 of the DC ones are complete at 3. And then I couldn't find info on the other one. My wild guess is it's going to be complete at 3 if the other 2 are, but that might be wrong. Next we have Tear Moon Empire 2. This is another not isekai but back in time series instead, where the main character's gone back in time and she's woken up in the body of like her 10-year-old self, and she's like, I'm going to make things different this time. And lots of them are just very rinse and repeat, very similar, but I do really like it. Same with Villainess. A lot of Villainess stuff are very rinse and repeat with a different skin on the top, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Give me more. This one's a bit more pricey because it's J-Novel Club. Like this J-Novel Club, not the other J-Novel Club for some reason. But I did enjoy it. If you're into that kind of thing, do try it. Such as like I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, or there was another one I've literally mentioned in this haul and I can't remember what it was. Last one here is The Eminence in Shadow Volume 8. This is, I think, the most recent release. I started reading this during Isekai month and I loved it. It was so silly and funny, and I can't believe I left it so long to read more of this series, because I've had it for quite a while, though I did have a gap until only a few months ago. But I thought it was hilarious. Great. I loved this isekai a lot. Right, on top we have got Lord Hades' Ruthless Marriage Volume 1. Another one Yen Press sent me. Yen Press sent me like a lot. It was like 15 volumes. I was very surprised. I think it's the biggest box I've ever received from them. Anywho, I have also read this one. I thought it was just going to be another like Hades Persephone kind of romance Steeleroonie. It's not quite. First off, the girl is called Kore? K-O-R-E, I think. Yeah, K-O-R-E, I'm not sure you pronounce it. Basically, through happenings, Hades has been forced to choose a wife, a consort, to get married, all that jazz. And every chapter so far has been kind of like a different goddess turning up to discuss why they would be a good match and what they should do when they get married and stuff like that. And it's been kind of a fun read because he like just doesn't want to be there, but it's like for story reasons kind of needs to be. I did enjoy it. I look forward to more. I think because it kind of surprised me, it wasn't quite what I expected. I enjoyed it more, for sure. Okay, next we have Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, Volume 1, a new series from Kodansha, and that is the extent of my knowledge on this. It says it is a madcap rom-com. Oh, it sounds like a guy who's moved in and must marry one of the sisters. All I hope for is that he actually marries one of them and it doesn't turn into some big old messy harem romance. Like how they did it, or if they do it how they did it in We Never Learn, where there's like an ending route for each of them. I'll be good with that too. Ooh, next we have Reborn as a Space Mercenary 4. And this is a light novel, and this is a light novel for Ben. It is a light novel that Ben has been looking for a long time now. He has volume 5, he really likes this, and it's just, we haven't been able to find the volume. In fact, it was a bit more pricey on SciFier, which does suggest there's not as much stock about at the moment, but I was trying to convince Ben to let me put more in my basket and not get mad at me, and this was apparently the bribe I needed for that. So Ben will get this one for Christmas. I'm sure he'll be very excited, and if that is him I can hear outside of the living room, I'm sure he'll be excited now. Oh, next we have Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion 5. I do really like this series. I'm very happy to have another volume. I actually don't think it's a very long series. I think there's not many more volumes left before it's complete when I last looked online, which makes me very sad. It's an isekai. It's not a villainess-ish. I think she's just like a background character that has ended up with sort of the main guy accidentally, which actually it's kind of like First Night with the Duke in that sort of aspect. But I do enjoy it. I can't wait to read it. Next we have Not So Wicked Stepmom Volume 2. This has actually been out for a little bit now, and I kept forgetting to pick it up and put it in my basket. So this is an isekai, and it's about a woman who has been reincarnated as the wicked stepmom. And I have previously said it was Cinderella. It's not Cinderella. Very silly me. It's Beauty and the Beast. No, it's not. It's Snow White. And she has like a big thing for fashion, and she absolutely dotes on her stepdaughter so much aggressively, and is just trying to like make her happy, make sure she eats well, make sure she dresses well. And it's just really, really adorable. There is like a little bit of a hint of romance between her and her husband, but it's mostly about the relationship between these two, and I absolutely love it. And I love the colour of this. This is such a pretty purple. We had a red for Volume 1, now we got purple for Volume 2. Next we have Virgin Love Volume 1. Don't know anything about it. It's a new series from Caketinz. 26-year-old is still a virgin, but pretends to not be. Signs up for an experimental program testing if 6 young singles can find romance under one shared roof. Okay. I mean, it's not plastic wrapped, so I can't imagine it's going to be that, like, intense or anything. It sounds like my kind of slice of life drama. Final volume in here is Handyman Saito in Another World Volume 2. I have not read my Volume 1, I'm so sorry. But it is an isekai, and it was a yen press, so pretty good price, so I nabbed it. Time for another one. Let's do this one. Ooh! So we got another 3 volumes of Community Todoke. We got 13, 27 and 24. Exciting. I've lost track of how many that is now. It's like 10 maybe? Just under 10? Not sure. Next we have Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School 13, and this was also in the daily deals. I think I'm missing a few now. I'm not sure where, but I don't think this makes me up to date or anything, but I do think this is a fairly recent volume in the series. July 2023 is at least this year. Sometimes I get the years completely wrong, but it is this year at least. Next we have Eden Zero 25. I'm now unfortunately a little bit behind on Eden Zero by a few volumes. I do really like the series, but I think Eden Zero, and actually I've just seen it below, Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest 14, both by the same person. I think they're series that do better reading a bunch in one go, because often, like, there's always battles, and battles just work so much better if you can read them together instead of sporadically. So I'm not too mad at myself for being a bit behind on both of these. I think I'm only 1 volume behind on reading this one, whereas I think I'm about 3 on this one. But Ben reads this series as well, so I think he's been holding off reading more because he's caught up with me. Then we have Case Closed 88. 88 volumes. Don't ask if I've started reading it yet. I'm not sure how I want to do Case Closed yet, because obviously I kind of want to like binge it, but that's going to be a lot of binging of a series. Will that drive me insane? I'm not sure. I've never binged a series like that before. I mean, when I read One Piece initially, there were only 60 something odd volumes out when I managed to catch up, so that's still less than this. Maybe when it hits 100, maybe I'll start reading it when it hits 100, but no one remember that, and no one remind me of that when it happens. We have 2 parcels left. Let's do this one. Alright, on top we have The King's Beast 11. I did fall a little bit behind on picking this up. I think 11 has been out for a while now. I did start reading this series but decided to stop once I started seeing people say actually, because it's set in the same universe as Dawn of the Arcana, people saying that you didn't need to read Dawn of the Arcana, but they do reference parts of it and it helps you understand. So I kind of held off and I was like, well, I'll finish collecting Dawn of the Arcana, then read it, then read this. And I have now recently finished collecting Dawn of the Arcana, so I will read that and then continue on reading this. This is where it's like, it's not even that big of a deal, and I've just misinterpreted it massively. Okay, next we have Shadows House 5. This is such a pretty odd series. That's a comma in that. Not pretty odd, it's pretty and odd series. It was quite an intriguing read. I've read the first couple of volumes, I think. What I'm really hoping is we just start to get a bit more story. I feel like we've had a lot of setup about explaining the house and the shadows and such, and what I want now is more story. Next we have got Sugar Apple Fairy Tale 2. I've not read my volume 1 yet, but apparently multiple people have said to me they think it's the sort of series that I'd really like. So I'm going to try and read my volume 1 before the end of the year. I've been reading loads of volume 1s so far in December. A lot. There aren't many volumes I've read this month that aren't volume 1s. Next we have got Sunbeams in the Sky 3. And I actually think this is the final volume. I think it completes. Yes. It is only a 3-volume series. It's about twins, and one of them stops going to school and the other one makes them go to school in her place. They kind of swap who goes to school on different days and such, and they kind of have a different crush, and it gets very confusing. So it'd be nice to see how it concludes, especially since it's quite a short series. Like, I'm kind of glad it's a short series. I would have been a bit bummed if they like dragged it out, but I don't think you get many that are this short, especially like high school romances. They tend to go to like high single digits, low teens generally. Okay, next we have Love's in Sight 4. I am staying up to date with this, but again, I have not yet started reading it. I am going to read volume 1 before the end of the year as well. I've been reading a lot of Viz volume 1 especially, and I've got 4 volumes of this. Maybe even before I do my collection tour, which actually will probably come out before this, which will be extra confusing. Next we have Seraph at the End 28. Now this series doesn't come out that often at all. Ooh, it concludes a free mini poster. There you go. That's neat. You don't see those that often anymore. Still a $7.99 series. Or this print was. I still have mixed feelings on this, and it's nothing to do with the series, but because it made me miss my train. I'll get back into it. I'll do loads of Viz reading at some point. But I've been really enjoying my volume 1 reads recently, which is, yeah, not a great thing. Next we have got Can an Otaku Like Me Really Be an Idol? And I think this is a one-shot, and also it's by Kuma, which I think is Kuma Dempa. I want to say maybe. Also, it's plastic wrapped, so I'm hoping it's smutty. I think someone said it was smutty. I've been wanting to pick this up for a long time now, and I just kept forgetting. So I did finally grab it on this Manga Monday stream for Christmas, and here it is. I'm going to read loads of smut on Christmas Day. Last parcel. Right. Next up, we have Rainbow Days 6. I am liking we're getting a little rainbow on the spines. I kind of like Rainbow Days that it's kind of a romance from the point of view of the guys. Usually, a lot of them are from the viewpoint of the girls. This one's from the guys, and all the guys are a bit different. I'd say none of the guys are like great characters, but I still kind of like it. I wouldn't say it's like my favourite high school romance. It's okay. It's a fun read. It's definitely not my favourite. Next we have Mint Chocolate 9. I know this series has a lot of mixed feelings because it's a step-sibling romance. Personally, I don't think it's that bad because the relationship's kind of already there before their step-siblings, and also they find out they're step-siblings when they pretty much move in together, which is a really weird trope that I don't understand in manga. So I don't think, like, there are definitely ones that do it way worse, whereas this one I feel like there's some benefit of the doubt. Though I'm a couple volumes behind, I hope it doesn't drag on too long. The whole like keep it secret sort of thing going on for too long. I think it'll get repetitive and a bit boring. Next we have Until I Love Myself Volume 2, and this is actually completed 2 volumes, so this is the last volume. I have not read my Volume 1. I don't really know what it's about gender, society, and loving yourself. So I'm probably going to read the 2 of them together. I need to remember to read it. Next we have another new release, My Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku, Volume 1. Nostalgic coming-of-age story, perfect for fans of waterkoi. I feel like it's going to be a really cringy series. I hope I'm able to get through it. Okay, next we have Golden Kamuy 30. That is chunky. That is a chunky volume. I believe 31 is the final volume of the series, and then I'll read it at that point. Gosh darn. I've been picking this series up for many years. Like, I've had Golden Camry since before I started my manga social media collecting content, stuff like that. Goodness me. And now we're almost at the end. How crazy is that? After all these years. Next, we have Ogami Can't Keep It In, Volume 1. A raunchy coming of age rom-com with a bizarre blabbermouth twist. I hope it's going to be like a more... I've completely forgotten a series. It sounds familiar to another series I own, but I can't remember what it was called. I didn't like that one that much. It was a one-shot. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I hope this is more wholesome and smutty, but I hope not too smutty because I like kids. It's not plastic wrap, so it shouldn't be too bad. Final volume in my Christmas haul is True Beauty 3. I had not realised until I ordered this, I've not read my volume 2. I really liked my volume 1. I got it for Christmas last year, actually. I really liked True Beauty volume 1. So I was so excited to get volume 2, and then I just forgot to read it. How stupid am I? But now I also have volume 3, so if I read volume 2 in the next couple of weeks, I can then read this when I get it at Christmas, which is exciting. Okay, we've migrated to the floor for the closing because... Oh. Yes, Yuna, I can see you. Sit down. There we go. We've migrated to the floor because it's just easier than moving all this. So yes, this is my Christmas haul, though for me it is not yet Christmas, but when this video goes public, it will have been Christmas. I am so super happy with all the Gintama, all the Kiminitodoke, so many new things as well. A box set that I've been umming about picking up for absolutely years. She's just making sure it's all good. A whole nice chunk of plastic wrap, so much manhwa, so much easy press. As I said on all the volumes that Yen Press kindly sent me, so I have duplicates, I will be doing giveaways of MISC sorts in the new year, especially an easy press one, probably. Such a soft cat. Look at her tummy. Poop. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for joining. Remember, if any of this has caught your eye and you would like to go and get it yourself, you can use code Caketinz for 10% off your next SciFier order. Massive shout out to SciFier for Manga Monday. That was excellent fun. If you're interested in the Buy With Me stream, that is also up on my channel, where you can see everyone peer pressuring me into buying 100. They said 100 items. I was like, can't this count as 16? Apparently not. Apparently this counts as 1. Let me know in the comments as well, does this count as 1 or 16? There are actually a few more volumes that haven't arrived from the big haul, but I think they're on their way in the next few weeks. But there were some bonus ones I did in the following week. Oh my gosh, cat. Most of these ones down here especially. So I think it still is over 100. Everyone wish luck to Ben for wrapping all of this. I'm sure the cat will help greatly, like she is helping me. What are you doing? Do be sure to join the Dudette Discord if you're interested in staying up to date with news and discount codes and all of the like. Definitely keep a lot more posted in there. Also my other social media such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and all that. Well, it's not Twitter anymore, whatever it is. Also remember to like the video and subscribe. I'm going to be binging a whole bunch of content making in the next few weeks over my Christmas. I've been spending the last week just preparing for the collection tour, and it wasn't going to be in multiple parts, but I think it's going to be, which means we're probably, when this goes public, like in the midst of all of those. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have had a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, and I will see you next time. Bye!